All right, so the first thing we're going to kind of go over is what this is. Um, Basically, what this is just like any other script or indicator that you put on TradingView, with the exception of what it does and how it does it. Um, this is not like an alert type thing where it's going to send you an email and tell you exactly what to do, but it will tell you exactly what to do as to when to get in and get out. Um, it's just important that you remember that you still need to do your regular TA stuff, not so much fib lines and Elliott wave theory and all that stuff. It's still good to learn, but this essentially does all of that for you. Um, so a lot of those other things that you would have to load, like um, Bollinger Bands, VWAP, all those things are essentially in this script already. Um, and you'll kind of see that as we go through it. This is, like we've kind of been putting out, this has been taking weeks to do. A lot of back and forth with our developer in Scotland. So we're pretty excited that it's done and happy to kind of get it out there because this is really a game changer for everybody from the day one trader to people that understand very advanced TA. Um, this will kind of change everything for everybody. With that, we're kind of going to jump into how to install it and what it looks like when it first pops up. Um, you should see a screen share. Go ahead and click on that, and I'll turn it over to Sig.
Really super easy to use. If you don't have a TradingView account, you don't need to have a premium account to use this. You can use a free account, no issues. Obviously, first thing you need to do is go ahead and pick whatever asset that you're going to trade. With doing that, you're going to come over here to where you find your indicators, right? Um, Once access has been given to you, you're going to see this little tab right here where it says invite only scripts. This is where you're going to be able to find it. Can you search for it? Yes, you can search for it, but um, once you search for it, you're not gonna. It'll have like one of these red locks on it right here, so you can't access it. So you'll click on invite only, and right there, there's the name of it. You'll see COT, Chicago Options Trading, and the name of the script is gonna be WindyCity. You just click on it, and boom, it just loads right up onto whatever chart you're looking at. From here, once it's loaded up onto here, you can switch between whatever asset you got. Let's see, let's click Apple. Once you do that, you give it a couple seconds. You can see that the little thing's spinning, and then it'll load itself right back up. All right. So now within um within this is there's really not much else to add. As soon as you come in here off the just the regular basic how the actual script runs, once it loads up into here, there's only two small things that you need to change based off of whatever your trading style is. And you're going to come to settings right here on the actual script and go to input, and then on input you'll just come right in here to where it says filter level for buy, filter level for sell. And what this is just giving the script an indication of where you want the buy signals to be and where you want sell signals to be. And just based off of using the RSI filter that's already comes attached, and this is the regular presets here, what you'll type in is in here, and it's already in here for mine because I already have it saved into my account. So no matter when I try to pull it up, so once it, let me just pull it up for you real quick. So once you get on it, it'll be 00 right there, and I'm just gonna load it up here just to see if the buy signal will still stay on. Usually it won't. Okay, well Apple's pretty bullish, so that's why. But once you come on here, you'll see that on some assets that are bullish like this, that have been trending up for a couple months and or even years, you'll see that this automatically pops up. But what you're gonna want to do is go in here and change the settings, because when we want this signal to come on is when the breakout actually happens. And if you look here, just off of the 00 settings, you can see that once this asset passes over this moving average right here, this is what the breakout would be. And this candle pulling back down right here is where you got your retest of breaking through. And once you have confirmation, you can see the trend that it went on. Obviously, this is the COVID drop. But with that being said, you come in here, very simple. Off the RSI, all you're gonna do is put in there 60, and then the sell signal to come on when it hits 40, like that, and voila, it'll automatically adjust itself, and you'll see in some. I guess we should use maybe let's use a popular one. Let's go here. So we're going to CCIV. Oh, this is a newer asset. So we'll go to the 1 hour. And there you go. Obviously, CCIV has broken bearish, which we'll get into that part as well. Once an asset has broken bearish, it actually will confirm and then a sell signal will come on for you. So if we were to pull up the RSI, the regular RSI, and we were to put a line here inside of the RSI at 40, as you can see right here, you see how CCIV, when it pulled back right here, it touched on 40, right? But the sell signal still hadn't come on yet. It was still in a buy mode. So the asset was still bullish. Once CCIV actually broke through the 40 right here on the RSI, that's when the sell signal comes on. When that sell signal comes on, that's when the confirmation, and you can switch from calls to puts. Just to give a basic example for now. We'll get a little bit more in depth in a minute.
All right, so we're going to let this load up for a little while. And the option we're going to first select is to change the colors. Everything in here is adjustable and selectable by you. You can change whatever you want on this option menu right here. Alright, so the script has 5 settings in 5 different sections, namely visual settings, filter settings, trade settings, dashboard settings, and trade tools. You see you can manipulate every function of the script. It is completely customizable to what you want and what you want to see or don't want to see. Alright, in visual settings, the indicator uses ideas labeled land, river, and tide. You can see me cycling through those to help traders visualize the price action in relation to the support and resistance. The land and river form static support resistance and is dependent on price action relationship with levels inferred by both chart time frame and higher time frames. The tide is a dynamic support resistance that helps visualize how the support and resistance moves with the price action of every price bar. Alright, so we'll skip over the filter settings for now. In trade settings, you have show trade opportunities, which the script continuously analyzes the price in relation to support and resistance plots, and this model is exploited to detect potential trades based on breach of resistance or fail of support. The trade opportunities are plotted on chart as buy or sell labels upon confirmation at the candle open, along with open price of the candle potential entry price. With show targets, the script also generates targets at a point of entry as default. The first 3 targets are test levels, and when the price breaches TP3, bigger target ranges are likely to be hit. You also have show high and lows and show past performance, which are self-explanatory. Alright, moving on to dashboard settings, you have show or hide dashboard. It's an optional, customizable dashboard that displays useful information on the price action, including 14-period RSI, 14-period stochastic, 20-period EMA, 14-period ATR, and trend high and lows. Show gains from primary signal. The dashboard also includes a P&L tracker that shows gains from the point of entry which can also be enabled or disabled from dashboard settings. So also in trade tools, you have show equilibrium line. This orange equilibrium line is a dynamic moving line that adapts itself to the price action on the given time frame, requiring no inputs from the user. When the price candle touches the orange equilibrium line, the distinct torchlight candle appears to signal the trader of a potential change in price action direction. This is really useful, especially for traders who like to use mean reversion models for their trades. Equilibrium line can also be used as a signal confirmation in conjunction with another indicator if used independently before taking a trade position. Equilibrium line is especially effective on the 15-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily time frames. Another great tool is show lag line. The lag line is the equivalent of a Ichimoku Chiku span or lagging line. It is exactly the current price of the candle continuously plotted 26 bars on non-24-hour market or 30 bars 24-hour market for crypto to the past. This is a great indicator that helps a psychological discipline. When the lag line is above the high of the corresponding candle, it shows signs of bull power, and when the lag line is below low of the corresponding candle, it shows signs of bear power and helps greatly with trade psychology.
All right, so there's a million ways to skin a cat. Obviously, we all have different trading styles, and what this is meant to do is kind of to enhance what your trading style is. It's not to change it, it's not to alter it, but to actually, if you have, if you like to scalp, or if you like to only use VWAP, or if you like to only use Bollinger Bands, or whatever the case is, you can actually plug in a lot of these indicators into here and kind of use it to actually plot the entry and exits that you're going to be taking on a trade. Okay, so let's change this to real quick. All right, let me just wait for it to load up. All right, so now as you can see, when we're looking from a daily aspect, nothing changes. When you're looking at a daily chart, that chart is going to give you more of a long-term look at the actual asset. And as you start scaling in on your charts, 1 hour, then you start to see a little bit more defined on what's been going on the past few days, few weeks, so on and so forth. So when you get down to the different types of trading styles, obviously the type of chart, what our chart you use, it plays a huge role in that. Okay, so right over here, just like Chris was talking about, you have the different filter settings that you can get into. All right. And now let's say you wanted to use an external filter or a non-filter. So RSI is an oh well, the RSI itself is a oscillator. That's the type of uh, indicator that it is. So with that being said, if you're going to use an external one, you're just going to click on here and making sure that that it's on oscillator. And then what you do is you go into here, and if I had an AC, so right now I have my actual RSI open in here, and what that's going to do for me. All right, you see how as soon as I went to use external filter, everything came off of the screen. What that's going to do for me is allow me to now change what the actual script is using to find the buy and sell signals. All right. Now, by me opening here, you can see that I have RSI in here because I have RSI indicator open on my in my profile. And once I click on that, now what the script is going to do is now start processing based off of the math and the candles that are all formed up on here, and it's going to use the same signals that I have in here. Okay, so right here, just like we talked about earlier, we said that the buy signal and the sell signal were going to be at 60 and 40. All right, now look what happens if I change this. Okay, I want the buy signal to be at 30. No, not 30. That's a little bit too low. Let's say 45. And then I want the sell. Oop, my screen just changed over. And I want my sell signal to be at 20. Okay. Now, once you do this and you give it a second, you let it load, you'll see that now the signal turns off because based off of the settings that you put in for your RSI, the script is not seeing a potential buy or sell opportunity. So that would be the RSI. Now, let's say you trade off of the MACD. All right. All you're gonna do is, like, I close my RSI. You could leave it open if you like. Just closing it for purposes of the screen. And we'll go into MACD. Bam. So now MACD is another oscillator. When I'll go back now into my script, and all I'm going to do is go back to the same piece. So now I'm going to use another external filter because we're going to use this MACD to base the buy or sell signal from. And then we're going to go to MACD, and then you can go based off of the actual MACD itself. You can go off the histogram or you can go off the signal. So let's just say MACD. And since this is an oscillator, we'll leave this here, right? And then on the MACD, let's say we can use a 10 and a -10. And these settings here, for a lot of the basic ones that we use, um, we're gonna have these all like a template. If you like to use MACD, we'll have a template set up for MACD. If you like to use Bollinger Bands, we'll have one for that. Um, 30. 30. Let's see if this signal will come in. And like I said, it's just all based off of the way you trade. Some people don't like to trade the breakout. They like to trade before the breakout. You know, that I want to get in before it starts to break out. And there's a lot more risk that goes into that kind of that style of trading, right? Um, but let's just say that is your trading style. You can use that. That's what the problem is. Let's see if it comes on. And I change these settings around. So you can use that to actually trade your style. Nobody's, you know, again, the biggest piece is we did have some questions. Some people did ask, like, I'm very comfortable in my trading style. It took me a while to start trading comfortably like this. Will I have to change it? How will this affect? You know, I like to trade off of the candles on the MACD. I like using that crossover of the histogram. Those were a lot of the basic questions we were getting. It doesn't change any of that. The reason why we want you guys to still be able to use these indicators is because you have been trading like that for a while. So if let me see what the settings for when we tested it, the best settings for MACD. If we go to okay, so let's try it based off of the. I don't think anything's in there. So on to the signal. There we go. Okay, so on the MACD right here, it's just giving you the same thing based off of the crossover. So every time you see that crossover, if you look up and you look at the price action up here, you can see that based off of these support and resistance, like Chris was talking about, you can use these as a visual aid to kind of see where the price action is going to come to, right? And a lot of people like to use the histogram for that, right? Same process. Look what happens right here when the histogram comes up. It gets rejected up here. The price action gets rejected, and what does it do? It comes in and pulls back down, which then causes price action to come back down. Some people trade like this, some people don't. But we want to let you know that you can trade with whatever kind of indicators. Me personally, I do prefer the RSI. I do like to trade on momentum. So the basic settings, you don't even have to put the RSI. I know, like for me, I like to leave the RSI on. All right, so let me open up the RSI, and I'm going to show you that even with the MACD open, it'll still work. Okay, So use RSI. Even if I wanted to use it as an external, the RSI is already built into the actual script, so you don't have to open it up. But I like the visual sometimes. So we'll use the external. We'll use the RSI. And then since this is an oscillator, we'll leave it on oscillator. And we'll come in here, 60, 40, and then boom. What we'll do is we'll allow it to load up real quick.
Let him think for
Hey Luke,
himself.
hey Luke, can you mute your mic for me, bro? Thanks. So,
Got you, bro.
all right. So Ryan, hold on one second. All right. So now you got both your, a lot of people like to use both of these indicators. You can keep this up while the actual script is running the RSI for you. Some people like that. Again, it's a psychological thing, and there is a part of trading that is psychological. So the settings are still the same. The buy signal will come on once we break 60 on the RSI, and this is what this means. You see right down here where it says 60, which this looks like we're getting ready to break out. All right, and one way to help you is you come into here and you just put one of these trend lines right in there. You put another one right around the 40 area. Boom. And then see, bang. And then just like that. Now, if you look at where that line is in coordination with what the actual land and the river is, you'd see that this actual moving average that's here is going to be where we're going to have our resistance. So if we can get over this piece right here, you're going to see that this is going to be the biggest resistance that we have. Once it gets over here and it clears this level on the box, that is going to confirm to the script of breakout, and immediately you're going to see all of this stuff, it changes. The good part about it is, like we're talking about it on Tesla, obviously Tesla's not moving right now, but if I go and I switch to a cryptocurrency that's trading, let's say Bitcoin, boom. And let's give it a second as it loads up, and there you go. You got it exactly right here. Same process to trading, nothing changes, right? Whenever the price actually breaks that support level, what does it normally do? With what we always teach, it comes back and it confirms, right? So we got that break hook, and then we got that go, and look at how beautiful that is. And again, these tiles in the background, just for to give you something visual to help you trade off of. If you don't want it, come to land, take it off. You can take the river off too. All right, and then you'll see right there, that goes that equilibrium line, the line that you can treat as a moving average. And a very basic and plain view right here. You just want your targets. Cool. It's giving you the targets to actually take profits at. All right. The biggest thing to this is once the buy or sell signal comes on, it doesn't mean look at the price and then say, okay, it says here 54,418. Let me buy that exact amount. No, what it's telling you is, okay, that support level has been broken. And just like we teach, before you take a trade, you should make sure that it confirms that it is actually that trade and vice versa. So this buy signal obviously came on down here. There you go. We're on a 1 hour chart, so you'll see that any little break, it'll cause it to reset. So just like this, we broke bearish right here. The sell signal came on. It comes down, and when it breaks back through that area, the buy signal comes on. At this point, you shouldn't be buying. What you should be looking for is, where is this asset? Where should it be catching support? And for all my people who like to technically trade, let's go ahead and look at this breakout. We'll put a Fibonacci on it. Let's see if where that support level is right there. Bang. Now look at that. This asset comes through, breaks out. When it comes back and catches support, look at where the wicks come down to, straight down to this golden pocket right in here at 618. And again, that's what Chris was kind of telling you guys about the calculating all the math that's done, the script. That's why it takes a couple seconds to load, because it has to come back through all of the candles that's on this chart and calculate entries. What's this moving? How this moving average? That's how moving average are calculated based off of price action of the candles, and vice versa. Let's say, um, let's put this to the daily. All right, and look at what we got here. If you were to have taken this trade at the buy signal on a daily chart, and obviously this is a longer term trend, right? On the daily chart, taps on this moving average are not going to cause it to break bearish. All right. So once this actually breaks the trend and it comes back and confirms, this could have been an entry for you right here. Some people don't mind buying the breakout, and when it comes for the retest, they buy again. That's another trading strategy, right? Um, the the biggest thing that I want to show you guys here is most people, they like to do their Fib extensions. Let me make sure I'm in the log. Ethnic scale, bang. All right. People like to do their Fib extensions. So if we come down to this, and all I'm doing right here is I'm not teaching you how to use this tool. What I want to do is confirm the targets that are actually coming up on the screen based off of what would have came up on a Fibonacci extension. And then look at that right there. Each target, you're going to see that it's telling you to take profit here prior to getting to an area where the market could turn. And sure enough, once the market came here, what did it do? It came back down. It did turn. Again, on the way up right here, it's telling you to take profit here. This is a potential area that it could have came up and turned back down. Obviously, this is a really bullish asset, so not the case. But as you can see here, 46K. The target came up on it perfectly. Had you bought this here and just paid attention to it the entire time, just came and make sure the trade was still trending in the correct direction, you could have potentially put your limit sell right here at this price. And yeah, that is exactly what it says right there. That is a 458% profit. Very easy, very good. And the best part about it is you just use it the way you want to use it. Me, I don't mind all this clutter. I can see through it. I actually put the Fib extensions up beyond it. It works perfectly. And there you go. It comes in through here. You can see it as the trend line is moving. Look at what it's doing. It's lining up with these 618 right here perfectly, where it catches support, continues on, so on and so forth. The best part that I like too is that for the people who work, I know a lot of people work and they don't have time to always trade, actively day trade, or sometimes some people don't have day trading accounts. Cryptocurrency does provide that opportunity, obviously, with doing the right, having the right information and right knowledge. What we can do is actually bring this chart down to a 5-minute chart, and we could actively trade this chart as it's trading on a frame. So as it's showing right here, you see how the buy signal came on? One of the indications on a smaller time frame, one of the indications that this actual breakout is a strong breakout. Once it breaks out, it'll break through the first 3 levels of targets, okay? And that is why these 3 targets are so close to each other. After these 3 targets, the asset will normally come back down, look for support inside of either the tide or inside of the land, and from there you can actually enter the trade right here, and boom, you got your target set it upside right here. Pretty simple. All right. And now one thing that, let me get back to these questions that we had. So anything below the actual 5 minute right here, you're not going to get an accurate read. So when you're looking at 1 minute or 3 minute, you're not going to get an accurate read from the actual script itself because of how much information is coming in here. It overloads the system. 5 minutes is a common area, a common chart that most day traders use to scalp. Um, Again, anything less than that is not going to feed. Um, Other than that, I think that pretty much. So let's say I'm actively somewhere else, and or I'm a lot of people do work in sometimes in buildings where they can't have their cell phone or whatever the case is, and I'm going to show you some ways around that. So what I'm looking for is for the buy signal to actually come on. Right, I want it to come on once that bar closes above. So you're just going to hit it once per bar, and then all you have to do is click the type of notification that you want. You could actually have notify you through your app on your phone. It could have a pop up on your screen here. You could actually put in your email address, whatever email address is in your account. It'll send you a notification to that email address. So for some of those people who work in spaces where they can't have, you could always have it send you an email to your work email, whatever the case is. And you can even set it up as an SMS. So you can send your email as a text message to your phone. And inside of it, it already has it. This is the message it's going to send you. It'll say, um, get a good long entry around recommended buy price, set stop loss based on personal risk management, and use targets generated. Same thing if you're bearish on the asset and you're looking for that as well. Okay, so now let's say you're actively in the trade. Let's say we're actively in this trade right now, right? And I, it's on here. I want to go upstairs and have dinner, but I don't want to sit in front of my computer. Right? You know that it's going to break lower. What you can do is you can set it so that as soon as it breaks the next take profit target, it'll actually send you an alert as well to your phone, to your again all those locations. Pretty simple. Great question. There is what we found is that a lot of the actual take profit number 6 and number 7 are going to be your biggest areas where you're going to have corrections at. Okay, based off of Fibonacci extensions and Fibonacci retracements. Uh, these first 3 targets right here, and it's also based off of what time frame you're looking at it. Okay, so like if I'm obviously looking at a daily chart, this asset is only going to move 1 candle at a time through these targets, right? But as I lower my time frame, let's say I put it on, yeah, I put on the 5 minute. Okay, there you go. You'll see that most of your trade action on a 5 minute chart is going to be okay. So if this is from the open right here, we hit the first 4 targets all in 1 days of trading action. Okay, so again, that's also based off of, like I told you, the buy signal came on here. The buy signal came up and took out the first 3 targets, showing the strength of this trend. When it pulled back straight to this actual moving average or momentum equilibrium, caught support, and then continued on to the next target. Okay, where can we look for this to correct at? Right in this area are the 2 biggest ones. And if you notice the space between these targets, you see how 1, 2, 3, 4 are really close together? The space between the next targets kind of give you an idea that this is probably going to be maybe 2 or 3 days worth of price action on a 5 minute chart, and vice versa for a daily chart. This is Tesla on a daily chart. There you go. As you can see, look what happens right here. It breaks through 6 and it got to 7, and look at the correction it had right there when it got to those targets. Okay, so if you would have took profits at 6, you could have took some of your money off the table and waited for the sell signal to come on to get out of the trade. There's a lot of different strategies you can use. Another strategy that I kind of wanted to jump on and show you guys with the options is based off of these targets, you could actually look for your calls and your puts based off of these. So um, 950 is the next target. So in this 900 area, we could look for some calls, right? So let's say we go to Tesla, we go to calls. And obviously, since this is a daily chart, I'm going to give it, let's say I'm going to give it till April. I'm going to give it a month and a half or so. Okay. And we're looking at 900 to, what did it say? 900 to 950 area. All right. We come to 900. And there you go. Look at that. You're starting to see open interest and you're starting to see volume already here. This is for April calls. And we open the next one. Now look at the next one after that. You see there's nothing in here. Let's look at this one. Let's see. And there you go. One of the things I do love the most, like let's say if we were to buy some long-term calls on Tesla. Let's say December. This top target right here of 1308. Let's see if there's any volume around that area. So we'll start off at 1250. Nothing there, right? Nothing there. Nothing there. Well, these do cost $6,100. So I don't see nothing in here. So what do? I come back a little closer. Let's look at September. And this is how I'm able to find where the volume is. Here we go. There you go. You're starting to see some open interest here. There you go. And then it helps you. You can actually use this to actually find your targets on taking a call or a put. Same thing if I were scalping this thing. If I were scalping this and I was on a 5-minute chart and the buy signal came on this one, right? Let's see. When the buy signal came on, it came off for 704. It was showing me 728. All right. So this would have came here, and then so we probably would have took the trade right here inside of what 695. Let's see how much we would have made if we would have followed that. February 26th, so expiring, and then there we go. And here we go. Look at the volume right there. 740. Obviously the price action is there right now, but if we would have took the trade at let's call it 700. 700. So 44 minus that. So that would have been right there. Exactly that. It would have been a $3,000 profit if you'd have took this trade, which is yeah, that's pretty good. So it ties into strategy, obviously, for my guys who are on premium, that are actually using the script. I'm going to be helping. We're not just going to, if you do get it, we're not just going to leave you on the side and kind of figure it out. We're going to be here to kind of teach you some strategies on scalping. If you're a scalper, swing trading, identifying the trends, identifying the targets, and how to get in and out of the trade using the script. So I'm going to pull up, let me sign in real quick, and I want to show you what I kind of been doing and using it for. Let me just, obviously I'm going to sign in over here. So You guys ain't trying to sign into my account. So what I kind of did was I was using my one of my smaller accounts to actually practice trading the cryptocurrency, um, and kind of just taking small trades and just taking small wins, not looking to hit no home runs or anything like that. So on Kraken, like you hear me and Stefan talk about all the time, we you can trade leveraged. You can have leverage trades on here. So what I was doing is, like perfect example, I'm in a leverage trade right now here with XLM on 2-to-1 leverage, and currently that's what I'm winning as. Obviously, the algo works good now, so I'm taking home run trades with it. So this is what I did here. Since we've been working on it, just been taking small trades, small trades, small trades, small wins, just to make sure. Did it with algo, Atom, USD, XTZ, and just taking small wins. With the leverage trade, it works good. It you know obviously the user behind it has a big role in that as well, right? Of when to take profit. But I was just looking when I was taking like smaller trades, I would look at those kind of things when it was just like I'm going to take the first three targets out and then I'm going to get out of the trade. Some people trade like that. Like that's one of Steven's strategies. He'll use high volume for 5% for a 5% move on 2-to-1 leverage, and that 5% is now he's going to get back 10%, and he'll trade like that for what, an hour in the evening when he gets home from work. Um, yeah. So if nobody has any questions, Chris, you got anything?
Nope. Just appreciate everybody sticking with us for a better part of an hour. And again, if you have questions or if you get the script and you have any question at all, we have been through every square inch of this thing, backwards and forwards. So we will get you the answer quickly.
Oh yeah, and we do plan on having a actual session, a training session with the guy, with the developer of this script, where he's going to come and actually be in the room to kind of help out. Um, most of the things we know it, me and Chris know it, but we'll have the developer there, just in case you guys wanted to ask him any specific questions to this.
Yeah, we'll probably give you guys a week or two, maybe a little longer, to kind of mess with it and kind of develop a group of questions if it comes to that, and then we'll have him here because he will definitely answer your question with probably more than you wanted an answer for.
The other part to the lifetime access and the monthly access is a lot of these scripts, they do take, they need to be maintained. As TradingView updates its software, as computers do that, the script itself, it has to be updated and maintained. Um, for those people that are getting lifetime access, that is lifetime access of that being maintained. There's not many places where you can get that, and for the price that's paying for on a lifetime. Um, for the guys that are monthly, and I'm again, I can show you one trade this morning that paid for this and the monthly premium for 2 months, and that was the $300 trade that I got out of early by mistake, not by mistake, on purpose. But um, it it's one of those things you master it, and it does pay for itself. It does help. Do you need it? No. Is it a lot better? Yes. It's something pretty good when you can just sit, you're sitting at home and you plug this into one of those cryptocurrencies and you're like, okay, yeah, I don't want to sit in front of the computer. Let me know once the buy signal comes on the daily chart because I want to get into a longer trend.
Yeah, and just to touch on that, we have definitely had conversations regarding Stephen Jazz Aviator on here regarding he's probably going to be mad at us because we are worried that this is going to make people not want to take his class. But that is not the intent. You should still take his class. Um,
Absolutely.
absolutely. So
I mean, I use don't get this wrong. Like I still most of the times when I put my charts together, I don't put a script on. I actually run through it, and I'll put my my retraces up, and I'll put everything that needs to go where it needs to go. And then I'll come up with my own theory on what I see based off of the candle formation and the market structure. And then from there, I look for that. I come and I turn this on. I'm like, I know I was fucking right. And then it actually shows me other areas of support that maybe I didn't notice. And then I'll come and I'll look over here. Let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see what I'm seeing. Just like that. And I'm looking over here at the river. I'm looking at the land, and I'm seeing areas where potential support could be at. What am I going to do here? I'm going to come and I'm going to put it on here. Bang. So it does, even for your experienced traders, it is good.
All right. If we have no other questions, we're going to call it for the night. Again, feel free to reach out to us, ask whatever you need. We'll be around.
Yep. Appreciate you guys logging on.